part 7 of revealing the hidden formats in Genesis. And I believe that these are the first writers' formats. And these formats are known as a psalm. I left off right here, and I'm just going through to make sure that I explain the words that I've changed the most. This word pin for your donkeys, this pin might get a stall, but I'm not sure if I'm going to change that word or not. They had no camels, they always had donkeys. Business and task. I'm going to, whoops, okay, say that the word is task. And let me, oh man, I haven't forgot to update this program here to the recent page here. This will be 2434. And I wanted to check the word business here in this Bible program here that I have, that this program, 34, above the 34, my business. And over here are the words that they used in Strong's Concordance as for what is that word being used for. And you can see there's many different, in fact, a lot. I see the one task being used once. Yes, the word task is only used once, and it's used for a word very many times, 700, maybe 800 times. But the word task is, it's not business, but it's a task. It was something he was supposed to do, assigned as a servant. If it was his business, he wouldn't have been a servant. I'm using the word became very rich, just because we know that how everybody was treating Abraham in Canaan as a lord that was a great provider for their area for rams and goats. And my lord, that's 37 here. Okay, and when I click on that, you can see it's used as the word Lord many times. So that's again why I'm not changing that color. Take, receive, I explained that when you're talking about receiving a wife. This is what's going on. It's not you take something, you receive from them because you're going to give them articles of silver and gold because he was very rich. That's the articles he could give. Add the word forefathers and receive her. Now I am adding the word want and Canaan's because it does not follow. She wouldn't follow him. So the thing here is do not. It's up to her opinion here. He's asking if the girl does not want to come to Canaan. Okay, so because they understood the curse of Noah still. So the spring, I'm going to say it's a well because that's where they were at when she was able to bring up water, so it wasn't coming up on its own. she had to draw the water, so we have to have it a well here. Journey to task, it still seems to be that the word task is more correct. As I explained before, it's not his journey or his business. Maiden to girl, so the thing there is the word girl is correct, the word maiden is not. Let me see over here real quick. It is used for the word girl once and virgin once. But the thing here is this, this here, like I said, I put in water skins instead of jars. They had no donkeys, or had no camels, they had donkeys. And she's not a woman, she's a girl. So we're talking about a female that is less than, I would say, 15 years old. Not you, whom you appointed or you chose, because our Creator chose her to be the Lord's. This I just looked this up, so we know Lord's can be used before and after. Well, I guess this is a little bit far off from the text, so I'll make it that I'm adding that. And she drew the water for his donkeys. And then he asked her tense for relatives. And I explained that in the last video, so I'm not going to go over that again. Guiding me to your daughter. I'm not using the word must as a major word. I'm going to use the word now and ask. They're the two more important words in this. And give her to my Lord, which would be to Abraham, and that's why it's a daughter, or why she will be known as daughter by law, not in law, but by law. So stop using the secular dictionary definition. And I'm summing up this to mean this. This seems to read better and have a better understanding of the ultimatum that he's really given her, our father. And I added to add the word father here because we're going to introduce him or reintroduce him as father. Because when you're reading before, like myself, I can't always comprehend everything that I'm reading. But if it's mentioned a few times, then I'm okay with remembering. Comes happened by YV. This word comes means happened. I'm thinking it's close enough. I'm not even going to look that one up. It doesn't matter to me because it's more correctly being said with my edit. Add the word wife. Then brought out articles of silver. This is the meaning of receiving, to receive these goods. He receives the female for a wife for his son. And it wasn't just their men, it was the family that came in the surrounding area, came and ate and drank. And then he stayed. He didn't spent the night. He stayed the night. And I'm adding the word please. And I'm just checking the time. And this is not really needed in the text, so I'm not going to use it. It doesn't change the story because she said she will go with this male. And her parents, just replacing the word they with the word parents to have two major words. Become a mother. I needed to add that because of what the text says below. And it needs to be rule over when it's describing what it is, because a descendants rule the gates. It's rule over the gates. Just now, this having to put the word enemy here, to hate them. I'm going to call them the enemy, because if you're ruling over, they're the enemy. If they're friendly, you wouldn't have this sentence at all, or these verses at all. Mounted, I changed to got on, so I'm just getting rid of the word mounted here and using the word got on the donkey, and departed to the word left. And Isaac went out. He wasn't meditating. Meditating is actually sitting in darkness. So let's not confuse the word and use that word when it's needed to say that that's the word. But right now he went out to walk in the field, and near evening, not towards evening, but near evening. Now, evening is the last couple hours before the sun sets. Okay, and it is including as the sun setting. And he saw people were coming, and he went to meet them. I needed to add this to fill in the format, and I think those would be a proper words, and wouldn't receive too much objection of those words, so I'm going to leave them as is. I'm adding the word win, and dismounting, got off. Remember, the Hebrew language, just if you do an addition of all the words from the Hebrew text, they counted something like 20,000 words that they had. So dismounted and mounted, they really wouldn't have had such a sophisticated word. Get on, get off. So I'm trying to simplify the language as I'm going as well, trying not to put too many words into their vocabulary at that time. And oops, I added the word sun, so I better highlight that as this color. All to everything, done for his father, and then these are just made up names at this time. They're not needed. Took another wife. Abraham did not have another wife. So the thing here is he stayed true to our Creator as being married, and means one male, one female, and married for life. So he would not have remarried. I added the word ill, and as he was ill, he gave everything to Isaac. Had to have a reason why he was giving everything to Isaac. So he knew that he had an illness that he would have maybe died from, but in your old age, anything you get can almost say those are going to be your last days. See these here, this is just, no. This word is coming in from the Eastern beliefs that all men have many women, and that is not true under our Creator. So He does not live 107 tenths and 5 years. Those just numbers are just not true. They are under a meditation practice. Males used to live long like that, but not because that was against our Creator to sit there and meditate and have sex with a female goddess, have sex with a so-called female goddess. So let's keep it out of the text now. That's a lot of the text that you're seeing that I'm removing is them trying to put in the situations for them that you would not understand or know unless you actually had that practice. Not blessed, but he promised his son Isaac, and Isaac lived by him. Isaac and Ishmael, they lived, his son Isaac, and Isaac lived by him. Thinking that verse is out of place, it might go someplace else. Now, the generation of people, they are not needed and won't be needed. Petitioned, YV for sons. The difference between prayed and petitioned. Praying is a one-on-one conversation with our Creator. A petition is to ask Him for something. So YV petitioned for a son for Rebecca to conceive, and Rebecca conceived. But the baby struggled within her. I'm adding this word, so I better make that this, as I did here, this way. Why am I this way? Yes, there's 3 words in this one that are major, and I can't get away to say it anything lesser. So, like I said, in this format, I'm a little bit more leeway in trying to stay away from those type of verses, but it is needed here. You carry, the best word I could think of at this time. You carry 2 sons, not nations, but 2 sons in your womb. And then people, the son, one son will be stronger, and the older will be ruled by his younger brother. Should I put, and the first son will be stronger, and the older, but his will be ruled by his brother. Well, that's part of, well, this is our Creator telling her about her sons. Now, did she tell Isaac, or does she tell Isaac this, or not? I don't, it reads like he doesn't, when he's going to pass off his blessing. So, this text is, will show up as what they're doing later. So just remember that. I used twins they didn't have. The number 2 would have been what they would have used. The first birth, he had red hair, and they named him Esau. Came forth and named him Jacob. Now here, Esau became a skillful hunter, and Jacob a peaceful male living in tents. Well, actually, it's a farmer, and we read that. Oops. Down farther. I don't know where I got it. I thought it was going to be quicker than that. Now, Isaac loved Esau because he hunted. Then one day I had to add to set the situation. When Jacob had cooked a stew, Esau had come from the field. I'm just saying, I'm not seeing the format here, so I must have corrected this later. You don't see it now, but I got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then a miss. I got 1, 2. I know it's not here, but it is in the next text. I'm kind of thinking here, and I'm not sure what I did. So you'll see that show up in the next, when I get rid of all this editing and show you how I move the verses around. And it's not red stuff, it was a stew. And I am hungry, not famished, but hungry now. And give me your birthrights as first. And he replied, I'm about to die. The birthright of first is yours. And you notice I have to add that here because it doesn't say that. And then down here is starting to say that. But the only thing is, these were didn't fit the format. So to stick that up in here to complete the format, this way I moved the meaning up earlier into the text. And then and he swore to him as first. I didn't put the word vow here because the text doesn't say that using the name of our Creator anywhere in the text here. So it's just a swearing, and he swore to him. Then Jacob gave Esau his bread and stew. Okay. Now here, this is another trip down to Egypt, or not going down to Egypt, but this is too far away for this story to be true, because I showed you, and once you understand the distances traveled and things like that, some stories become obvious that they are not true. Now here, look through a window. This is almost like they have a hole in their tent, or if they made huts out of sticks, that they'd have a window, because they surely did not have houses built at this time. So you have to understand what the word window and trying to relate it to the time that's being said. So it's just something that when I'm reading, these things go off as alarms. Is the proper words being used at the proper time? You see, this is almost like the same story in Egypt, and that's just false. Okay, now here is where I found out that he's a farmer. Isaac sowed the field and yield 100-fold. I think I have 10-fold here later, so or I think I have just 2-fold, doubled in yield, because 100-fold, that's just, even bioengineering genetics today don't get that type of increase. So the thing here is when it said he sowed the land, he was a farmer, okay? And I moved that up in the text. But the only thing is, they're taking over Abraham's flock, or flocks, so they already had this great abundance. So when a lot of times the stories don't make sense and a lot of red flags pop up, you have to be very skilled at knowing the stories. Now here, it says that he's getting a woman or a wife from Canaan's. But the problem is it took a daughter from Ishmael once he found out that um, they sent Esau or Jacob to Shem's land to receive a wife. So this text, even though it's here, and it's like he has two wives, no, we're going to get rid of this wife completely, and he lives an honorable life to our Creator. And I don't know why I don't have all this made small. Word dim. Well, they were blurry, not the word dim, but blurry. As you can see by the conversation, the word blurry um, means he couldn't see them. So his eyes were opening, but he was not blind, but he was so blurry he could not see them. And so I had to add the word here because he could not see him. He had to ask him. And he said, I am here. So I'm putting this word up here, and then I'm moving the words I am to over here. And that later saying I switched the words around. And I know I will die, not death, not in the day of my death, but he's going to die. And it's not going to be today, but he figures his time has come. So he's going to pass on our Creator's blessing unto you. And I had to add the word pass. So it reads correctly by the formats being found. Now, here I'm adding the word deer. Okay. Now, it could be rabbits. Rabbit stew is pretty good. Deer meat, myself, some people like it. I myself don't. I'm from Michigan, so I've had a lot of deer, and I just don't see that as being the favorite of the other animals that they could have ate from, that could have got from honey. So, but I'm putting the word deer here. Listen to me, because that's not behold, but listen. Usually the word behold means see or the scene, so, or saw. So the thing here is I'm changing it to the word listen. I heard your father, and then she explains, go hunt a game. Well, it's not a game, but it's a deer again. I'm going to use, and prepare its meat for me. Now it's a savory dish. A savory dish, excuse me. My voice again is not good again today, and I'm not drinking that lemon tea today, so I'm sorry about my voice. And then pass on his blessing or his promise to you. And now, well, that was Jacob being told what he's supposed to do, and they're get a choice young from there. Now, here they're using a new word, kids, but young. They didn't have, like I said, a big vocabulary, so it would have been a younger, older. The rams get or the goats get, it's not as tasty as the younger. So this is why here, when it comes to this understanding of which one it was, I have no real opinion, but I have to put it as a choice young from there, and she will prepare the meat. and then he passes on his promise to you. Now, when I told you there was an asterisk of the words above, this is what I'm talking about. So this is where it's at, that she's fulfilling our Creator's words here by doing this. See, here I've got hide clothes. So, like I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to have the meaning of this, either leave it garments, because the definition for garments is up there, but I still like calling them hide clothes. Esau's tent, because like I said, each one had a tent. And she put the younger on his arm. And the younger would have had a softer feel to the skin. So now when we see this adding, now it would be a goat, because we know ram has wool. So now we know that it was a goat. Okay. And now, did they call goats kids as young? Anyways, went to his father, said, "Here's your stew." They made him something savory, which was a stew. I had to add the word "so" to complete the verse, and quickly to the word "fast," same thing. So I'm not seeing that as a big difference. And here is Jacob's answer to him, because YV, your Creator, has caused it to happen. Why is he there earlier? But it's his mother that did this, and she might have explained it to him for him to be able to have this answer. So there might be text above that's missing, and that would be it. That would be missing, because now he's able to speak about this. Feel, but touch is a better word, and he touched him, his arm, because he's not going to pet it like an animal, but just touch him. Then he said, voices like Jacob, your arm, not your hands, but your arm is Esau's. And then he said, we will eat, for I'm passing on his promises to you. And then this is the promise that he's being told. And this is actually, when I was saying earlier, did Raquel tell him, Raquel, excuse me. This is what our Creator said. So he knew that that was going to happen. So he's passing on, your brothers will serve you, for you and your master. So it's part of maybe he doesn't know. Maybe this is part of the promise that he's been told. I can't think of our Creator's everlasting promises going through stages, whether this is mentioned. But I think it is, because that kind of goes with the theme of her father sending her away with a blessing about may yours become the rulers over the gates, which are cities of your enemies. And gates are only used at cities to keep the larger animals coming out at night. So now you know that they had a wall around it, so animals would not cross it. A fiercer animal would not cross through it. And Esau gets really mad here, and he had a grudge, held a grudge. Held is the best word I could come up with here, because he's going to come down here to himself. Well, he had to tell his friends because the story is when his words were heard to Rebecca, she sent she sent for Jacob to tell him that he's planning to kill you. So the thing here is he had to tell his friends, and then his friends got talkative, and then she heard. Uh, Most of these are pretty easy to see what I'm doing here. Possess the lands, meaning the different lands, all three sons um, of Noah. Shem's descendants needed to be added. Um, and here's where Esau went to Ishmael to receive his daughter as his wife. So, and here's a vision. This is where our Creator renames him. No, I don't think so, but he's telling him about the reconfirming his promises to his forefathers, what he will do for him. Family to races, on earth be blessed for obeying me, your Creator. You cannot be blessed without obeying our Creator. Okay, that's you have to understand the order of these words and how they're used to mean what they mean, and you have to be obeying our Creator. And I've got him speaking in first person here, which is very good when you're reading the text. You're reading it and it becomes first person. Let's see, he walked. Okay. There he is. And the mouth is an opening, so I'm going to say it's the opening of the well. And that is because animals, they didn't want to have them drop down into the well seeking a drink or anything like that. Or it could even been dust storm pop up or windstorm and stuff come flying in there. They kept that out. It's just a cover, not a stone. It's a cover. What was the cover made out of? You got me. Could have just put a bunch of uh, split wood together. Because when I removed the cover, could have been pieces that they removed. But anyways, and it's not him, it's Shem's. And then it's he's seeking his mother's brother. High noon, high day. Maybe I did come back and use this word. I should have. Copy this. And just make sure that I come down here and put that in my cheat sheet to remember to recheck that. I put in noon and then I'm realizing I'm adding to the words to the Hebrew language, and I just don't need to do that. I'll bring up water for the rams so you now know it is a well and it was deep. Rams, okay. Sister, I don't think I need to go over every word. I'm searching for the words that like this and say, hey, if you work for me, you should not serve me for nothing. If you read you are my relative and you're not serving me for nothing, well, I have to have this if you work for him put in here to make this more reasonably being said. Um, After 7, these are 7 years. Took the word gathered and put it down here, and that made a dinner. See here, I've changed the word feast to dinner, so I got to make sure that I do this and copy that and remind myself to check all words feast and come back here and let's see. Yes, all these words are added, but I don't think they're that hard to understand what's being said here. I'm into the 41st minute, so I guess I talked too long. Served, worked. Yeah, I don't think that's difficult for you to understand. Okay, I'm going to stop it here because we're starting to get into the names of the sons, and there's a lot to be said about that.